What's up, y'all? It's Kirsty.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Rashana, and we are the 1000 Club. Yes, for participation. Welcome to the 1000 Club. We are 3 friends living in 3 different parts of the country, and we want to invite you all into our club, into our conversations as we navigate friendship throughout our lives. Today, as you see, we have some very, very, very special VIP members. We have our mamas in the club. Yes. So, ladies, before we do the check-in, do you all want to introduce your mom?
Go first.
Oh, me? Go first? Me? Okay. My mom is Tony Brooks. I don't know where she is on your screen, but on my screen, she's down here. And we have our matching shirts, which is the traveling cousin. She is the dancing cousin. I don't know if she knows how to pull the camera down, but she's the dancing cousin. There you go, Ma. Yes. There we go. She's the dancing cousin. And together, those are the 2 things that we love to do the most, travel and dance. Yes, we share that. So welcome all to the VIP of the 1000 Club.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, of course.
Courtney, you want to go?
Yep, I can go next. So my mom is Jeanette Conway. She's on the bottom right of my screen. We're sitting here in our matching jean shirts. We usually tend to match on holidays and stuff. There's a lot of pictures of us on Christmas and matching outfits and things like that. So we're that little corny duo. So, hey, Mom.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm at the beach, but not really.
Fake at the beach, but she's cool. Yep. And you'll see us moving our shoulders and necks, and that's how we do our little dances.
Well, this is my mom, Pansy Bradley Cooper, and somehow Courtney and Miss Jeanette, we were all in the same wavelength because we have denim shirts on too and pearl necklaces. We usually don't match, right, Mom?
That's correct.
It's kind of rare for us, but maybe we could start doing that more often. That would be nice to do.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah, so glad to have you here, have you all here. We are so honored to have our moms. This episode will release before Mother's Day. So a happy early Mother's Day to you all and to all the moms out there. We wish you a very wonderful day on Sunday. So we usually start with a check-in, and it feels like it's been a while since we've checked in. So I'll go first. Gosh, I don't even really know where to start. So I have been trying to post more on social media lately. I've been learning how to do videos and how to take my own photos. So that's what I have been doing lately. If you are on Instagram, come along with C, you'll see some of my recent reels. I've also been trying to explore Chicago a little bit more. So I've gone to some different restaurants, did some pretty unique experiences. I recently went to a place in Chicago called the Scent Workshop, and I made my own signature fragrance. And that was a lot of fun because I got to smell different types of scents and choose the ones that I like the most. And they put them together for me. So I have like my own signature perfume now. So that was an amazing experience.
What's the signature perfume? Are you going to share and tell us what it is?
Oh, so it is called So Beautiful because you get to name your own perfume. It's So Beautiful. It's named after one of my favorite. Yes, Music Soul Child. You know it. Music Soul Child. Actually, I don't feel like I've really talked about my love of Music Soul Child on here.
You haven't. But he hasn't really come out with anything. We haven't had a moment to highlight him.
Yeah. So named after my favorite song, So Beautiful by Music Soul Child. And the notes that I got, if I can pull it up real quick, I know it's jasmine. One thing that I discovered is I like most of the perfumes I have jasmine in them. So I got jasmine, their scent called Snow Cone, and then their scent Big Sur. So I don't really know what the notes are in those scents, but
like a vanilla-y, like a sweet.
Big Sur kind of smells like, it's hard to describe, maybe like the ocean. I don't know, like what do you that smell?
Okay.
But it smells
Maybe
kind
like
of,
a light and airy scent, kind of.
yeah, yeah. And snow cone is like sweet.
Yeah.
And then I also got a body wash. They'll like mix the scents into a body wash or lotion. And so I got that with some different scents. So that was a lot of fun. Like I said, I've just been trying to post more on social media. I just recently started a travel convo series called Come Along With, and it's on YouTube, and I post a snippet on it on IGTV. So I did my first convo with Antoinette. She's on Instagram at Annie Mae 621, I believe. And so I talked to her about her recent trip to Tampa, Florida. So stay tuned. I'll have a very special guest coming up soon, Miss Stepping Into She. So about her trips. So I'm looking forward to it. Stay tuned. Yeah. So Rashana, what have you been up to?
Oh, I did not know I was gonna go next. I got lost in everything that you were up to. I've been Schitt's Creek. Is anybody watching that? Schitt's Creek. It is with oh man, now I can't even think of his name, but the last name is Levy. He's John and the brother and the daughter and the son. They co-wrote this series about a family who is super rich and some type of IRS issue. They lose all their money. They have to move to this small town. And it is just a really, really nice show. Apparently it's been out for a while, but it wasn't until quarantine that people have discovered the show, and it's won a bunch of different like awards now. And I can definitely see why. If you are into very dry, sassy, and sarcastic humor, which I am, you will love this show. Like I laughed a whole lot. Yeah, it's on Netflix. So that is new. I also I guess I just posted one of my professional photos on the gram. And I'm excited to update my website. So that is coming soon for Vocal Action LLC. Also, for people contacting me for my travel business, United Family Organization, I am not taking inquiries until August when I do the soft launch, but I appreciate all of the enthusiasm. And I also want to shout out my friend Latoya because she is doing such a great job. She's currently traveling with her family to Orlando. So I plan a nice family trip for her boyfriend, and their daughter. And the amount of time she tags me in every single picture, I'm just so thankful. Like just all the followers, all the inquiries that have come just from her promoting me has just been absolutely amazing. And I'm just so thankful. So I definitely want to shout Latoya, because those people are important, the people that really push and help your business grow. So shout out to you, Latoya. And I think that is it. I don't really think I have anything else, but yes. Oh, my current read. I know I shared that probably every now and again, but I'm reading Getting to Happy, which is the sequel to Waiting to Exhale by Terry McMillan. And it's taken me a while to get through it. Admittedly, I read another book in between. I read We Over Me in between that, and that was a workbook about, it's really about marriage and how to be a team in marriage. But as I am aspiring towards marriage, I found it actually very helpful as someone who is single to learn some of the baggage that I carry, some of the things that I want to bring into a relationship and a marriage, some of the things that will not benefit a relationship or marriage, and really just how to be a team, because that is what marriage is about. It is teamwork. And so I would encourage people to read it. I enjoyed the workbook and answering the questions, and it's by the Reverend Erica St. Bernard. She is an ordained minister in the AME Church. Shout out to Reed Temple AME. And we had her on our Friendships in Prayer episode back in December. And if you all remember, she closes out with a mighty, mighty prayer. So definitely support her. It was a really good read for me. And Getting to Happy is great. For those of you all who might be looking for what happens to, Gloria and Bernie and Savannah, and why am I forgetting the last one? But for those, Robin, for those of y'all that are looking forward to what happens to them almost 20 years later, it's pretty interesting. So yeah, that's my update.
Courtney, what you been up to?
Yes. So what have I been doing? I just came back from my trip to Puerto Rico. I went on a solo trip to Puerto Rico by myself. So that was really, really exciting. Shout out to United Family Organization for helping me put some of the details, accommodations, and stuff together. Yeah, that was exciting. I want to go back there right now. I do not want to be sitting in New Jersey. I want to be on a beach with a mojito, living in Puerto Rico. So I'm going to try to figure out how to move there. Okay, just I'm gonna put it out there. Gonna be living there soon. I'm gonna claim it.
Mother doesn't look too excited about that.
No, she's not, but it's okay. She can come visit.
I'm like, okay.
She can come visit. It'll be fine.
You can really be
Okay.
anytime you want.
Say that again, Christy.
Be on the beach anytime you want.
See?
She can have my picture.
That's the closest she's gonna get to Puerto Rico.
So shady, just shady. So yes, I did that. That was really fun. I posted, I'll be sharing my tips and a couple of things from my trip on my blog. So you can check that out on Stepping Into She this week. I'm super excited about that. What else have I been up to? I feel like that's it. I feel like that's the most exciting thing I got going on. I feel like that's pretty much it. So yeah, it was fun. The solo trip I stayed for 6 days, 5 nights, 6 days, something like that. I went from a Thursday to a Tuesday. So it was a pretty long trip. I got to sightsee. I got to go to the rainforest. That was a lot of fun. I got to go to Old San Juan. I ate a lot. I ate a lot. I ate a lot. So that was good. And there's a lot of people in Puerto Rico right now, obviously, because it is a US territory. It's easy to travel there. If you're a US citizen, you don't need a passport. So I think there's a lot of people who are just, enjoying a little travel, a little vacation to Puerto Rico. So that was nice. And it was really exciting to go alone. That was my first ever solo trip. So I feel like I broke a lot of barriers, or like broke down a lot of walls and stuff going on that trip. So that was good. So yeah, that is my update. So since we have our mamas on and we did our little update, ladies, would you like to share what's going on in your world? Let's see. Well, I guess I'll go to my mom first, Janet. What's going on? Jeanette, I'm sorry.
Okay, let's see. What am I doing?
Besides,
I'm trying to walk every day. Okay, I've joined this weight loss program that's supposed to be for people 50 and over, and to try to help you change your lifestyle a little bit. So I've been trying to get up every day and walk. I also took up riding my bike. So I try to do that every other day. So haven't been riding far. I haven't been killing myself, but I've been trying to ride my bike also. And the other thing, I took a friend to a May Day breakfast for women. That was really interesting. It was where God plants you, and you may not be where you want to be, but it's sometimes you grow there anyway. So that was interesting. That was a lot of fun Saturday. And I think that's about it. That's what I've been doing.
Yes, thank you for that word.
Yeah, yes. Can we go to Miss Bradley Cooper next?
Sure. I commend you all for doing an excellent job. Y'all have exciting lives.
I know, it's hard to keep up with them. It's like, what can I do
know,
after
it's
that?
amazing. It's
I
amazing.
know.
What I've been doing, wow. I've been walking a lot, if not every day, every day. I'm in this walk challenge. And last week I won first place. I walked over 70,000 miles, no, 70,000 steps in 5 days. So that was exciting for me. I do boot camp 3 days a week for an hour. Trying to stay fit. It's kind of hard to eat healthy sometimes.
Yeah.
But I try to do that occasionally. Now, since I'm fully vaccinated, I met a friend at Red Lobster for lunch, and it was just good to get out after being, confined to just going to the grocery store. We still do church service virtually. So it's been just great to just get out and just chat with a friend for a couple of hours. But other than that, just trying to take one day at a time.
Yes.
I was gonna say my mom
And
is
let
being
me say
modest.
this.
She
like,
like
go ahead,
I
Christy.
was gonna say my mom is being modest. She hits like 70,000 steps like every week. Like,
That's what I was about to say. Like, she will smoke you on that
really
bridge. That what is the bridge here called?
Yeah, Woodrow Wilson Bridge.
The Woodrow Wilson Bridge. I mean,
Yeah.
I did that walk, and Christy's mom, I was still going, like, trying to make it to the end, and she was already coming back. Like,
That's because you all were walking slow and talking. I was just going for it.
I was walking my fastest and still
Really?
trying to keep up with them. Yes.
Listen, as I call it, they got to get the senior stroll going.
I mean, I was just like, I was almost dead. And Christy's mom was like, so you want to come again? Like, well, we can do this.
That's right. I offered
during the
for
week.
Sean. I said, call me. We can do this.
And she has not received the call. She has not received the call.
I'm a little nervous because I'm coming home in a few days. And I know we're going to Williamsburg. And so I know we'll walk. And I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with my mom. So I'm a little nervous about that.
So she's the walking queen, okay?
Your mom is.
You go, girl. You go, girl.
Right. So you know.
Yes, I love that.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Mama Brooks, you want to bring us in?
Well, I can bring you in first by telling you what I have not been doing, and that's walking or doing any exercise. Now, that's not to say that I don't need to, because I do. So listening to you ladies, rah, rah, sis kumbah, I'm happy for you, and hopefully I'll get there soon. But what I am getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to retire after 46 years.
Congratulations.
I am so happy. And so I'm going to be retiring.
Cheers.
Retire. Matter of fact, let me cheer too. Yeah, what'd you just say? Cheers.
Yes, cheers. Cheers.
Mm-hmm. So I am going to be retiring the end of July, and I'm going to be moving to North Carolina after being a Bostonian all my life. So this is really something like that has me nervous, has me excited, and just everything. Okay. So that's a big deal to move from Boston, where I've lived my whole life. And, all my doctors are here, friends, and I know the streets and how to get everywhere, so this is just like a big deal, but I'm excited. And I'm looking
what part are you moving to?
We're moving to Greensboro, which is where my sister is. I have a sister in Greensboro, and I have some friends in Greensboro as well. So and I'm just trying to figure out how to get all my clothes there, because my husband keeps telling me, you need to get rid of these clothes, and I have a whole loft full of clothes, and I'm like, listen, my clothes are going. So we're just gonna have to figure this out, you know.
Well, you might not need too many for the winter down there.
Well, you know what, and you're right. But I will have to figure that out when we get there, you know.
Okay.
And so other than that, I'm just trying to stay safe. You know, I've had my second COVID shot back in February, and my husband has had his. And so, you know, we're just getting ready to just relax and try to, you know, enjoy life in retirement with God being our helper, you know. So
Amen.
that's where we're at.
Amen.
I love
Yeah, I've
that.
had my shot too.
Yes, that must be where somebody else gets a lot of her. She has a lot of clothes.
But I think this whole way, if we had all the clothes in this group, I think you all would be running in with us.
No. There's somebody else who probably has a speed.
My mom has a lot of clothes as well.
Yeah.
Closets full.
Maybe we could start maybe your next thing is to start a store online.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
That's a good
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, maybe you all could do that.
Christy
Clothes and
sells her
shoes.
clothes
Clo-
online.
Clothes and
Oh,
shoes.
Poshmark.
Clothes and
And
shoes.
shoes.
Mhm.
I have so many shoes as well, but it's just tearing myself away from these things, you know.
Yeah.
You know, even with COVID, of course, you know, we haven't been wearing much of anything, at least for me, because I work at a hospital. So I've been in scrubs, you know, at work. And so I haven't really had anything to wear. We haven't been going to church. So a lot of my stuff
No.
I haven't even worn in a year, you know, at all. But it's just tearing yourself away from those things, you know, that I don't know.
Well, you know what I know?
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say about our age group too, is we're so used to getting dressed up. And now times have changed where everybody is more relaxed. Like even we went out for Valentine's Day, we were the only ones dressed up in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Everybody else had on jeans and sneakers. I mean, I had on like we go to church and we was the only
Yeah.
ones like, and the whole restaurant, you know, it was spaced out and stuff, but we have to get, you know, reaccustomed to dressing the way that
I
it was.
still like dressing up. I'm sorry. I like
I
my
do too.
shoes and my silver pocketbook and all that.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Like I'm
so
dressing up.
I still have to
Yeah.
get dressed up every now and then, but I do hear what you're saying, you know, but I
Yeah.
think it's still
It's
nice.
more for comfort and safety.
Yeah.
And
So that is-
you feel good about yourself when you dress up, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Makes you feel good, right?
Yes,
it does.
Yeah. Smell good, feel good, look good. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love it.
All right, ladies, Courtney has to, you know, get us.
Okay.
I was gonna say, all of this sounds exciting. We can't wait to hear about all of our moms doing what's up next in store for you guys. Miss Bradley Cooper, I cannot wait for you to hit your next milestone with your walking. Okay, I'm excited about that. Mama Brooks, I cannot wait to hear about your move and what you think about North Carolina. And my mom, you better keep riding that bike, okay? Because you're gonna make it a couple of miles next time. So we're gonna keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
So let's get into our episode topic. So we all know that we are three friends, three long distance friends, and the majority of our podcast, we do talk about things from the perspective of friendship. So as our moms are on today, we wanted to ask you ladies about long distance friendships and the evolution of your friendships over time, between, you know, growing, becoming mothers, getting married, even moving. What does the evolution of friendship look like for you ladies?
Well, for me, I always had this saying, which I don't know where it came from, but I'm sure some of you would know. But it says, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver, the other's gold. And so for me, I've always held on to that with all my friendships. I have a friend of mine who lives in Texas, and we probably haven't seen each other maybe since 1978, but we still keep in touch with each other. We went to high school together. And when we talk, you would think that we talk every day. You think that we see each other a lot, but it's just the commitment to a friendship. You know, it doesn't have to be someone to me that you see all the time. It can be long distance, But as long as you're committed to the friendship, to the relationship, and keep in touch, and both of you have to do that. It can't be I call you all the time, you don't call me. Fingers have to work both ways. You call me, I call you. We might not have to travel. And I used to tell Rashana this too. You need all kinds of friends. You need friends who
It's
travel.
true.
You need friends who you talk with. You need friends who you go to dinner with. You need a variety of friends and different types of friendships. So for me, if you want a friendship and it's worth it, then you'll make sure that both parties are involved and committed to it.
It's very true. We talk a lot about that in our conversations about how just friendship is similar to like a relationship. You have to actually put in the work. You have to be committed to keep it. And you also have to ensure that, you guys are both putting in the work, and that, it's okay sometimes if life gets in the way, but you continue to support and connect with each other. So definitely agree with that. The other moms, anyone else about the
I
evolution?
agree with Mrs. Brooks. Also, some friends are in your life for a season. Some are there for maybe a year, and they have served their purpose. But true friendship are the ones that will stick with you through thick and thin, no matter what's going on. They're always there for you. And you don't have to talk every day. It's just that, when you pick up the phone, that you have a listening ear on the other end of that phone, and they will hold on to that phone and let you vent whatever you have to do. It's, that type of friend. And I do have one friend like that. We don't talk often, but when her son passed away here, she called me, and I dropped everything that I was doing, and I went over to her house,
That's right.
And so just things like that, just the little things, nothing big. We call each other on our birthdays, Christmas, I sent her a Mother's Day card today, and just a small note saying, I'm thinking of you, so glad you're in my life. So just little things that we have to just relish and appreciate the true friends that we have in our lives.
That's right. That's right.
I want to know from, oh, go ahead.
Oh, good. No, I was just going to say the same thing. I think you have friends for different things. And I think as you grow older, you find different friends. Friends will come and friends will go. And I think that you have to realize that you can't develop friends that that you leave behind, because sometimes you'll have a friend that you thought was a friend forever. And then all of a sudden, like that recently happened to me. I had a friend who we were friends for 30 years. And I guess she's mental health issue, and you can't blame yourself for that. You've got to let it go and see where that path takes you, and you just got to move on. And you realize that you have other friends that are there for you no matter what. And sometimes it'll be the friend that you never thought would still be there, but she's always been there for you. You have friends that you go to church with, friends that you travel with, friends you have dinner with, and make a difference in your life.
That's true.
Can I add something, Courtney? So one of the things I wanted to say is one of the things I like about my mom and one of her friends. I think they have a standing lunch date every year, and so I think they talk, in between that time of meeting up for lunch. But I think it's around their birthdays usually that they get together, and I just love that they keep that tradition going. And I think as all the moms said, you may not see each other for long periods of time. You may not talk with each other, but it's really being there when someone needs you to be there, and just putting in the work to maintain the friendships, even if it's just meeting up for lunch every year, or maybe we all travel together every year or something like that. Just putting those kind of traditions in place, and just making sure you're there when you really need someone to be there for you.
Agree. I think Rashana, you wanted to jump in. Oh. Okay. One question I want to ask, and I think you ladies touched on it a little bit, but when we talk about, obviously we are three friends in three different places, long distance friendships, and the importance of keeping them alive and connecting and ensuring that you are doing your part as a friend. So as you, and I love how how you ladies have said you have friends for like 20, 30 plus years and keeping those friendships alive. What does long distance friendships look like to you ladies?
I think a long distance friendship could be when you pick up the phone, it's like they're next door sometimes because you still have that connection no matter what. And like I went to school with one girl, she lives in Atlanta. And when me and Tony talk, it's like she could be next door because no matter what. And I think if you still have that true connection of friendship, it doesn't matter how far you are, it matters how close you've been and if you still have that connection. And that's how it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You could be in Japan, you could be in the United States, you still have that connection no matter what.
That's so true. And long distance friendships, you have to really, like I said, value them, because when everyone's lives are just so different, when you're long distance, sometimes you can't even get to, visit a long distance person, or maybe you all can't talk on a regular basis, and so you're not really keeping up to date with each other's lives. However, like I think Pansy had said, is that, it's just about the little things, and it's just about the time that you take to just let someone know I'm here, I care about you, so that when you do need to talk to that person, it's just like, I'm ready for you, whatever you need. If you just, and some people aren't just the ones that you want to just talk to. Sometimes it's just a listener, someone just to listen to what you have to say, so I think the long distance friendships are good sometimes too, because they're not always in your face all the time, or, they're not always talking to you all the time. But when you do call and talk, that's a valued conversation. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have this long distance friend. Matter of fact, she lives in Chicago, Illinois. And believe it or not, we talk more often than my friends here in the DMV. She will call me, even though we related through the National Ushers Organization. We are really friends, and the connection is just amazing. I wouldn't take nothing for her really, because she calls me and check on me. I call and check on her. She had an operation not long ago, and she was, sharing with me her health issues and so forth. And it's nice to have someone that you can call, even though she has friends there in Chicago, I'm sure. But the fact that she could take the time to call me, and I was willing to listen to what she had to say.
Yeah. So it sounds like it doesn't matter if it's a long distance or someone who's near. It's just about having a friend, period.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter where that person is, out of the country, in the state, or whatever. As long as you know that you all are friends and you can count on each other and be there when each other needs, then that's the most important thing of a friend.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
I have a question. So as you all are mothering and you have seen us make friends, can you think of a time where you were like, that's not a good friend, or that's not gonna last? And what is it about a mother's intuition that, is it a mother's intuition, or is it just life, like just life experience that lets you know? And then did you communicate that with your daughter, or did you kind of say, this is my daughter's life, she has to learn on her own?
Well, I could say I communicated. And I could see the writing on the wall with one of Courtney's friends. They were a high school friend for a long time. They're not one of her friends, but I said, I kept saying to her, you're really being a friend. The person's not being a friend back. And at some point you got to realize, I think as you grow older, when you're just being the friend and they're not being a friend back. And you see where their commitment is. And then you got to step back as a mom and then let them learn for themselves. And I think that, and it's also from your own experience that you've been in the same spot. Yes.
Mhm.
And you don't want to see your child get hurt or anything like that. So you say, you give them the advice, you give them the guidance, and then you say, okay, I got to step back because they're going to learn on their own, because they're going to pass it on to the next generation also.
Did you see that in high school when they became friends?
Not really, not until
Okay.
after that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did you say I told you so?
Not really.
Okay.
No, sometimes, not really.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about Christy. I don't recall. Christy, can you recall?
I was gonna say, I think when I was younger, I used to call everybody a friend, and I remember you telling me not everybody is your friend.
Exactly.
And I think I had to learn discernment as I got older about who to truly call a friend and who's an associate or an acquaintance. But you never really voiced an opinion about my friends. I
I
think
guess because you know, if I did, I would say something if I
Yeah.
felt something, you know, internally that this is not a right fit for you. You need to move on and find some true friends. And like we were saying, a friend is on the receiving end all the time. They're giving as well.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I don't know, Rashawn. I was trying to think about any of your friends. I think for the most part, most of your friends, I thought I was comfortable enough with them. And I thought that, you did choose some good friends. And so I don't know if I really ever said anything about anyone in particular. If you spoke to me about someone and their friendship, then naturally I would give some advice in a listening ear. But I don't know unless you could think of someone that I might have said,
No, I can't think of someone, but what you do is if I'm telling you about like a friendship, she'll say, yeah, well, I could kind of see that.
Mhm.
So it's like after it's like, yeah, because it was always kind of like that. Remember when? And then she can recount like, all the little moments that led up to this. So that's really her. But like she said, I never had any like really, really bad friends. But in terms of just like growing up, matriculating through life, growing apart in friendships, just like you said, Jeanette, like just, mental health and just all of those things when it just doesn't work out anymore. Your friendships don't work out. My mom can always pinpoint, all the little moments like, yeah, I could see that. I'm like that too though, Mom. I'm definitely that person where I will allow you to kind of sink your own ship, and then then I'll be like, well, since you're asking now, like let me tell you what I thought.
Yeah. And as long as I didn't see anything harmful, like if I thought that there was some hurt or harm to a friendship, then I would definitely say something right then and there. But friendships, they have their ups and downs, like someone said earlier, it's like relationships, and so sometimes you just have to ride them out, to exactly see what kind of friend that person is,
Yeah. With that, do you all have any advice in terms of friendship? So like if your friend is coming to you with something that you're already kind of like, I don't think so. Do you tell your friend that, or do you just support your friend?
I think it depends on what it is.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I think it
What
depends on
is.
what it is, and it depends on the individual friend. There's some friends who might come to you with the same thing over and over and over again. So even if you talk
And
to
by
them,
then you're like, go ahead and do it because I'm sick
I
of
mean,
it.
even if you talk to them, it's like talking to a brick wall because they're really not listening to what you're saying. They just are talking to you.
Mhm.
So I think you have to take individual people, and then some things, you know, you can't get involved in, like even sometimes with relationships. You know, you have to be careful getting involved in people's relationships. I'm talking men and women or two women or whatever the relationships might be. You have to be careful because when that person is talking to you and then things change for the better, now here you are in the middle
On
because you done said something
on the
that you
outskirts.
now can't take back. You know, so relationships are, you know, you just have to be careful of when to say something, when not to say something, and don't cross lines. That's the way I look at it anyway.
I'm glad you
And
said that.
sometimes
'Cause
just to be a good listener,
Yeah,
just to be a
That's
good
what I was getting ready to say.
yeah, you gotta
sometimes,
listen.
yeah, every question don't require an answer.
That's right.
So you just need to just listen. And
Mhm.
if you can provide, you know, good input or positive advice, do it, but don't feel compelled that
That's
you
right.
need to provide a response at all, because oftentimes you're the one that's going to end up suffering, and that could cause your relationship to slip.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
That is so true.
Yep.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit to random nights. So I don't know if you ladies have listened to some of our episodes, but we had an episode about random nights. And random nights is just when you and your friends kind of get together and your energy is flowing and life takes you wherever life is going to take you that night. My mom is laughing because my mom has a really good friend and they do a lot of random nights together.
I have a lot of friends that have a lot of
Random nights is, but it's like with your girlfriends and you guys maybe like
And
you're
your
going,
husband. It's
or
with
your
whoever.
husband.
It
Yep,
just
your
means
husband.
you don't have any plans. You just
Right. It just
go with
goes. You just go and things happen. So we've talked a little bit about some of our random nights, but we would love to hear from our mothers who have birthed and inspired the 1000 Club about your random night.
I'd like you all to give me an
I
example
know.
of your
I
random night
know.
first, so I'll know what you're talking about, because I'm still kind of guessing, are they talking about this? Are they talking about that? That's just me. So
You,
I'd like an
you want to
example.
know when we used to hang out or when we went to
We're
church?
talking about this and that.
So like, let's say you and your girlfriends or you and your husband were like, oh, we're going to go out to dinner. And then you did dinner. And you were like, oh, we're still feeling good. Let's go to the bar and have a drink. And then let's go to the club and dance. And then let's go for a walk. And you find yourself at like 3:00 in the morning and you're still ready to party. So it's that. It could be, you know, hey, we're just going to like catch a movie. We're going to just chill and hang out. Or it could
Or it
just
could be
be
you're single and you meet some guys, like whatever.
and you have a good time and you turn up and life just happens. So it's all of that.
Well, I think random nights, depending on what they are, because I've had many of those random nights with my friends, my husband, where we might have started out, you know, planning one thing and then it just extended into a later night. I have had random days, you know, with my friends where we started out in the morning, maybe going out for breakfast, and then next thing you know, we ended up doing more. When you talk about the other part of the random, where you say you're single, you know, and you go out and you meet guys, for me, that's a red flag. I'm sorry. And I only say that because people need to be careful. And if I'm out with friends and they meet someone, I would be nervous about that particular person if they wanted to leave the group, you know, and they wanted to go hang out with that particular person that they just met. Now, I've had that in my life with friends of mine who that had happened. And really, to be honest with you, I stopped hanging out with those friends. I mean, I would do other things with them, but when it got to the partying or the vacationing and things like that, if I felt like they were gonna leave the group and go with someone that they didn't know, then that would worry me all night. And I just don't think that I wanted to do that, you know, because life's crazy. And this is not just today, I'm talking about even before.
You want to
So,
be safe.
right, you want to be safe, right? And
But what
so
if you all went together? Like you never had that where like you and your friends just meet random people, guys, girls, whoever, and then you just end up hanging out as
yeah,
a group,
but
not like
as a group, yes. I've gone
Right.
different countries and everything else, and we've met people, males and
Right.
things, but we all were together and
Right.
we all were hanging out together, yes.
Yes.
But you know, no one was leaving the group and all that kind of stuff. We were all together, everyone was hanging out. We were having a good time, and we were looking out for each other. You know,
Mhm.
like we wouldn't leave our drink on a table. You know, if everyone got up to dance, one person would stay at the table because we didn't want people putting things in our drinks. And this was when I was even younger. My mother and them taught us that, you know, that when we went out, don't leave your drink by itself. Don't leave it unattended. So if we were all sitting at a table and everybody got up and danced, well, if a guy came and asked me to dance and I was the last one at that table, then I just couldn't dance. I just said, no, thank you, you know, the next dance, because I had to watch the drinks. So that, I mean, that's a small version of what I think about what you all mentioned about random.
Welcome to my mother's PSA.
I want, but okay, so I'm gonna tell my mom's story a little bit, and then she's gonna tell her story.
Good story.
I want her to talk about the random nights that after my mom and her friend, they both kind of got divorced around the same time. They were partying like until 3 a.m.
Yeah, we had a good time.
That's fine.
Well, we stuck together.
Yes.
Mhm.
We had a good time.
Mhm.
We went everywhere.
We went everywhere. Like they
Well,
had
I had been married for 40 years, so had Sheila. We had been locked in the house. And then we decided like we would go from one place to the other and just dance all night long. And when we walked to places, somebody didn't ask us to dance, we'd ask them to dance.
Right.
That's right.
Had a good time. And we had a good time. No matter what, we decided to have a good time. And our random nights, we didn't get drunk. Well, a couple of times we may have gotten drunk, but we always made it home. We always watched each other's back. We never left each other's side.
That's
And
right.
we always had a good time.
Mhm.
Sure, because we felt we had missed out on some things. And so we were going to make up for some lost time. And that summer, it was one summer, we had a ball. We did.
I would call my mom from college and it'll be like 10 o'clock and she'd be like, yeah, me and Sheila's getting dressed about to go out. And I'm like, wait, where are you going? Like,
Oh. Well, I was always home. I was always a homebody. Some people didn't even remember that I was still in the state.
So how important was a random night during that time for you?
I think it just was to get out and have a good time. A random night was just to go out and have a good time and know that I could be on my own. Because that was actually the first time really I went from my house to college to getting married. So I never really lived on my own either. And that was very hard for a while. That was very hard. Those 8 years I lived on my own, I had to get readjusted all over again. And so living on your own, like, you was raised to get married then. You wasn't raised really, even my mother and father didn't want me to go to college. They was like, no, you got to get married. And to go to college, I had to fight them. And then I went to school for like a couple of years. But that was hard for them. You know, they came, my mother, grandma was from the Cape Verde Islands. Grandpa was old fashioned. You know, they was like, you got to get married. I don't really want to get married then. I did well in school. I wanted to continue. And they was like, no, but I went to school and then I met your dad and, we ended up getting together and getting married eventually. But, that was really hard to be on my own again. So I had to find my way almost. And that was a little difficult for a while, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun too. I won a car. I did, because I worked at a women's shelter. I was placing homeless families. And I was walking all the time because during the divorce, he got the car. So the Sisters of Mercy put my name in and I ended up winning a brand new car and I still have that car. So God blessed me in a lot of ways too. And I think he watched in that whole process.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
For me, my husband and I, Christy's father, we've been married 36 years. So random nights. I guess we're pretty much homebodies in a sense. You know, we do things with other couples, but nothing really weird prior to getting married. I would go out with girlfriends and stuff. We would go to, you know, movies, clubs and stuff, but we would always stick together. We would always be together. You know, we would leave the house together, we would come back together. So we always were protective of each other. So
What was your
nothing
song
very
that-
exciting. What was that, Ashana?
What was your song that got you on the dance floor?
Wow. Let's see.
I want to know that.
I can't think of it. Oh my goodness. Probably something by James Brown. Anything by James Brown, probably. I
Okay.
love him. Yes, yes.
I don't know where I got my spontaneous side from because my mom is not spontaneous at all.
No,
Like
no.
planned out.
She
I
had
have
a little
no idea where I
spontaneous
get it from.
time. She seems like she may have.
Hmm?
It just seems like she said she like had a good time. Maybe she.
Oh
learned-
yeah, no, my mom knows
Yeah,
how to have a
then.
good time, but I've never really seen my mom like do anything that wasn't already planned.
I
Where
know.
I'm like, oh, let's go to Atlanta this weekend or something like that. Like
Yeah.
I can be very spontaneous, but my mom is very much planned. I think even when we travel together, we normally have like, this is the itinerary. Like we went on a cruise and like we had all of our like excursions and everything planned out. It was nothing really like that was kind of off the cuff or anything.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm like that too. Like I'm pretty planned as well. I'm definitely pretty planned, but I'm also down for a random night. When I'm going on vacation, I normally have something in mind of what I want to do. So then yes, I have the itinerary, but on a regular day, random day, I'm pretty random. Yeah, like Christy said, I think we just decided one morning, like, we're going to Atlantic City tonight to party. And I was like, okay, we had no idea what we were gonna do when we got there, what club we were gonna go to.
We didn't know if we were gonna stay the night or come right
Yeah,
back.
we didn't know. We just said, let's just do it. Like, and that was one of the most, that was so much fun. Like, that was just so much fun. We'd have seen Apollo.
Yeah, Apollo from
Wow.
Rise.
Yeah, like we just had, I mean, how we met, how we all came together. That was a
That was a
random,
random night.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was
we
random.
were at one place and then we went to another club and then I think we went somewhere else.
Yeah, then we met some people and we just, it was a random night.
Mhm. That was a good night though. That was the.
Yeah.
That was a good night. We had a good
Yeah.
rant.
That's how we ended up being called on 1000 because we were out partying and I guess we were having too much fun. And so we were
Yeah,
on 1000 and we turned it into, you know, that's the way to live, to just
that was our graduation
Oh,
party,
wow.
right?
Mhm.
That was our
When
graduation
you
night.
all
Yeah,
got
that was our
together.
graduation party. Yeah, and we like, oh, we like it. We'll keep it.
Yeah, we used to leave work and hang out all night and then go home and everyone get dressed and go to work in the morning. Yeah, we used to do that. Yeah.
I actually don't think I've had too many of those, like going to work. I mean, or maybe no, Thursday nights. Yeah, Thursday nights. And when we went to Grits and Biscuits that time, Christy, that was like when we went on the Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
I
Yeah,
used
but
to have,
Thursday night going into a Friday, that was definitely my life a couple years ago. Every single Thursday, I was at Pure for Caribbean night.
Mhm.
I used to have many a nights like that in my 20s when I was still living at home. I know my mom can remember.
Yes.
I used to be out all night, getting in at like probably 2, 3 in the morning and getting up and going to work. But
Drove me
That was-
crazy.
yeah, My mom would be so worried about me. But I just
Yes,
had to
because
be
I'm old school, right? And
Mhm.
I mentioned to Kristen many times, I cannot go to sleep until I know she's safely inside the house.
Wow,
So
yeah.
when she's out like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, like I'm like in and out of sleep, in and out of
Yeah.
sleep. So
Yeah.
she's messing with my sleep.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and I said, you just wait when you have your own kids, you'll find out exactly what I'm talking about.
That's what I used to always say. When you get your own,
Don't.
then you'll see.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and that was
and
the
then
time
she'll
when I knew I
say,
had
well,
to go.
everything is okay, nothing's gonna happen. I said, that's besides the point. It's not that anything is gonna happen. It's just that mother who just
Right.
want that child inside, at home
That's
safely.
right. That's
'Cause
right.
anything could happen out there in the
Yeah,
street.
yeah. You hear ambulance go by, you
Yeah.
wonder, well, was she where that ambulance was? Or you hear something on the news, you say, oh my God, I don't even know where they are. I used to
Yes,
say,
and then if the phone rings after midnight, it's like, oh my God, what is it now?
For the street.
yeah,
That's so funny. In college, I did that a lot, but I think once I graduated, I did go out, but I not late on a work night. I'm still like that. Like, don't call me late on a work night because I actually do need sleep.
I feel like
You
you did
think?
enough of that in grad school. In grad school, we did a lot of like Thursday and Sunday night partying and then getting up and going to work the next day. I
Oh,
remember that.
okay. Okay, so I did in grad school too.
I remember that. And Rashonda's good for like, she'll be like, I'm getting my second win. And I'd be like, I'm tired.
Oh yes, that is true. I am good. I am good for a second win because I'll be tired, but if I get that second win, we're going all night.
It hits different in your 30s. I can't do what I used to do in my 20s now.
And you just
Not
wait
at
till you
all.
hit 40. Wait until you hit 40 and 50.
Oh, Lord.
Well, then you might get a second win.
Okay.
especially if I'm on vacation with a nice white sandy beach and the palm
Yes.
blowing. Oh yeah, I can get a second win then.
Yeah.
Love that. I love that. All right. So another topic we wanted to chat with our moms about is health. And we've talked about this on our podcast a little bit. And as you get older, just as a woman, the health, the things that you take seriously for your health and the things that you want to be more aware of in terms of just being mindful of your health, protecting it, and keeping an eye on things as you get older, and particularly as women who may want to become mothers and all of that, just keeping in mind our health. So as any advice for us, I'll start with any advice for us as we are, we're all in our 30s now, kind of growing and glowing. And any advice for us as we kind of continue in our health journey. And I know you ladies talked a lot about like walking and all of that. So how important is just keeping an eye on your health as you're getting older?
I think one thing important to do is listen to your body. Sometimes people don't listen to their body. They listen to everybody else. Listen to your body. If it tells you you're tired, it's tired. Even if you're drinking too much, slow it down. Because sometimes people just sit down home and have a couple of drinks and so right now, like there's a lot of things on the market for you to take for this or that. Everybody's telling us to take vitamin E, vitamin D, vitamin this, vitamin that. And sometimes just listen to your body. If you think you need that, read up on it, take it, or just take a multivitamin. I always just took a multivitamin with iron, but now they tell us you need vitamin D, vitamin E, so many other extra things. Do we really need all that? Like, I don't like to take a lot of stuff, but I'll listen to my body and try to go that way. And even as far as, your monthly cycle and stuff like that, just listen to yourself. And when your body tells you to rest and take it easy.
My mom's good for like, did you take a multivitamin today? I'd be like, yes. I'd never take a multivitamin. I just don't
I don't take multivitamin, but I do take vitamin D.
Well, I have two friends that didn't take any vitamins or anything and no calcium. And one of my friends is getting shorter and shorter, and she's maybe, and part of that is from not taking her vitamins and not drinking milk and stuff like that. And so I really, tell people, I said, listen to your body. And she always says, I wish I had listened to my body when I was younger and I didn't pay it any mind.
Yeah.
So
I realized that during COVID,
Shova.
that's why I started taking D, because I'm not outside as much. And I was like, I'm drained, I'm feeling tired. And I was like, let me see about the vitamin D supplement. And that has perked my energy back up. So
Yeah, I would encourage an annual physical. I don't know whether your age range, whether you all, have an annual physical and probably a blood workup, because something could be going on internally that you're not aware of. And by having those, the blood workup, that it could detect something early on. So I definitely would encourage having annual physicals.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. I was going to say the same thing, an annual physical, and get a doctor, because as you get older, you want someone who knows you, because your body changes. And a lot of times when you find doctors, you find residents or fellows or person who is only going to be there for a short period of time and then they'll be leaving. And I always say, it's good to find a primary care doctor who's going to be around for a while so that they know you and they know your body, including your GYN checks, your mammograms, and also, find a primary care doctor that you feel comfortable with, that you can talk to about issues in your life. Because sometimes, even though you have friends and you have families that you're close to, sometimes you just need someone that doesn't know anybody that that you can share with them things that might be going on, in your life. And also with dentists, people sometimes tend to forget about their teeth, and as you get older, if you don't take care of your mouth, you're going to start losing teeth, and so you really need to, make sure you keep your hygiene, and rest, like someone else just said. I know for a lot of us, we work very hard and there's not enough hours in the day, for us to get what we need done. But believe me, you have to rest because your body gets run down. And eventually it's going to start telling you, look, enough is enough, So you really do also need to get some rest. And don't shy away from therapy either. I'm growing up in my time, talking to a therapist was like, you're crazy, and even if you was crazy, they didn't want you talking to a therapist. They would just rather have you go crazy than to go get some help. Okay. So I think, we shouldn't shy away from talking to people, that can help us, and, last but not least, pray, look to the Lord, from whence cometh your help, because, prayer is powerful, meditation, talking to God, finding a spot or a time of the day that you can talk to God, and sometimes you cry, sometimes you're filled with joy, sometimes you have questions, but, it's a good thing for me, to be able to have God in my life, that I can just go to him and talk to him about anything, and it calms me, it soothes me. So those are my things.
what are some things that happen as you get older that no one told you? Or you wish someone told you about?
Well,
I think growing up in our generation, no one really talked to you about your menstrual cycle or your body. That was a big thing. And you learned a lot from your friends or on your own. I know that was one thing with me, like my mother, that was like, you got your period and they gave you everything, but they didn't really tell you why. And then you learn from the nurse or someone else. And I wish there was a time where they could explain everything to you, what happened with your body and how the changes happen. Whereas I think now you can talk to people about it. It's more open with everybody, with females and their mothers and their granddaughters and everything else. It's more of a topic that, is open for discussion.
Well, for me, I guess it's two things, and I don't know if they go together, but I wish that, you know, they talk to us about sexuality, you know, and about what to expect in relationships, you know, what you felt comfortable with, you know, in terms of, you know, sex and relationships, you know, things like that. But again, I'm from the old school for me and my family, and those were just not things that people really talked about. The other thing for me and my family, and particularly my group, is financial stability. You know, no one talked to me about that, you know, about preparing for the future, you know, being financially stable for that time. You know, my family was always about work. Yes, you know, we worked every day, everybody kept a job, you know, things like that. But in terms of preparing for the future and financial stability, we didn't get talked to about that.
Yeah, how many people do you know in our family that actually retired?
In our family, a
Yeah,
lot of people.
they do. Oh, I feel like I don't really ever like remember. I mean, I know people now, but like
Well,
I don't
Auntie
really
Alice
remember like
retired,
people like
Frank retired, your grandmother retired, your aunts and uncles retired.
I
Maybe, maybe more like, do you think people retire around the age that people say you should retire?
Well, in my family, most people in my mother's age, most of them retired, you know, at retirement age. Um, Although some of them did retire due to health issues. And
Mm.
so they retired at an earlier age, but most of them retired at, you know, their age by 60, I guess, 62, they were definitely, they were retired. But now in my age group, uh, a lot of my cousins and them, they're retiring at 65. There's not many of them that are going to full retirement, especially now, since full retirement for a lot of people are different. You know, before everyone looked at full retirement at 65, but now, you know, depending on the year you were born, it could be 66 in 6 months, you know, it could be
Right.
65 in 2 months, you know, so it's a different age, depending on your date of birth in terms of getting full retirement. And, you know, it's hard for a lot of people sometimes to get to that full retirement age. That's why financial stability is what
Mhm.
you need, so that if you can't make it to that full retirement, then at least you'll have some other means of security, you know, and maybe you won't have to take your Social Security money and you could keep it till full retirement age, yet you're not working and you could collect on something else. Because that full retirement age, sometimes that could be a difference between $400 and living month
Right.
to month. For some people, $400 is a lot of money, you know, because $400 pays a bill.
Right.
Right, and I'm
Yeah.
definitely in agreement
Right.
with the health and the wealth issue. I wish I had known more about paying yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the
Mhm.
concept of that, you know, put something away for a rainy day,
That's
you know. And I think that's, as a people of color, we miss that portion of saving.
Yeah.
And because we just wasn't taught, you know, how to save, and we just didn't have they didn't, and our parents or their parents just didn't have the funds to save for a rainy day or extra. So it's definitely important. And to you girls that, you know, make it a habit of saving. It's nice to travel and, you know, buy stuff, homes and everything, which is excellent, but you need to put that little extra away for a rainy day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
So true. Because
So
those
And
years go by fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that what happened too is I think they just assumed women back then didn't make any money.
Yes.
That was the other thing. We didn't work. We didn't make it, women didn't work. Like my mother didn't work, so all the men worked. So all they did was collect off their husband's Social Security. They got anything. So nobody taught you. Your mother didn't know, so she didn't teach you. So that's the other thing. So now you had to that was another thing that you had to learn on your own.
I thought grandma worked.
No, well, she worked when she was very young, like cleaning houses and stuff like that. But then she never really had an office job. And once that, after they get a certain age in their 30s, or 40s, they didn't work anymore. So it depended on their husband. So they really didn't know anything financially that much either. They, everybody depended on their husbands in that generation to do all the financial stability.
Yeah, I also think too about like how student loans play a factor, and like our generation, especially being able to stay while still trying to live life and obtain property or investment, whatever it is. Like it's really hard because they tell you that you need to go to school to be able to live a certain life, and then after you graduate, it's difficult to live that life because you owe all this money, and depending on what type of home you came from, like sometimes you end up with having to pay it all, and you're not thinking about that at 18 and 19 and 20 and 21. How am I gonna pay $100,000 back for college? You're just trying to make a better life. So I think something my mom has always taught me, just like every generation has to be better than the last. So that's kind of what I take from the knowledge that I have will hopefully set my children up better than me, and then they'll be able to set their children up.
Well, pray that Biden wipes out some of the student loan debt.
That would be great.
Biden, if you are watching this, that is the only reason why I voted for you. Do not
Biden.
Eliminate my student loans.
Yes.
All this other stuff you're doing is great, whatever. Eliminate my student loans now.
Yes. Amen.
I want it done now.
Now. Amen.
Now. Yeah, all the millennials that voted for you, Biden, get it together. We voted for you because we want those student loans eliminated now.
Right.
I was in a discussion on that because so many people have gotten used to not paying it. And now they've gotten in a budget where they can manage life, because they wanted to know how they came up with the rates that they are, because some rates are so high. Now you've gotten to the point where you can almost manage living, and how you're going to go back to paying it. So that's what they Biden. So now they're asking him to really consider getting rid of some of the student debt so people can maintain. And we can have a middle class America again.
Because where is that middle class?
There's none.
I don't know where it is.
No, I was on a housing group that did that because rents are so high in some places that there's no more, people can't rent anymore.
No, rents have gotten to be ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah, and even renting now, they're making you pay all utilities, including water bills now.
Yes.
They're putting meters in apartments.
Yes.
So now you're even paying the water bill.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna pay my student loans with my mother's retirement.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna pay my student.
I gotta say, the church I go to, that was one thing he really preached. The pastor preached was he preached financial stability for men and women, and he had a whole year of that on teaching that for men and women, and how to be more financially independent on your own, how to prosper and stuff. So I really learned a lot from that too.
Side note, real quick question: life insurance suggestions.
You have to have it.
You have to have it, but be a little careful, because there's so many people out there now trying to sell it. You guys shouldn't be paying a huge premium. AAA has it.
Yeah, AAA just sent me something in the mail, and so did Navy Federal. And I was like, I have it through my job, but I am thinking about having a private one as well.
And then actual job too. What happens with that one? Can you get one on the side, that company? So, it shouldn't cost you no more than $30, I don't think $20 to $30 a month, because at your age, young. Now at our age, it'll cost us 50 or 60. But at your age, you should not be paying a high premium.
Yeah, I think this one was like 32 or something.
Yeah.
Well, when you have it on your job, they supplement. That's one thing about having life insurance on your job. It's a good thing because they supplement the money. So, you're able to get 2 times your salary, 3 times your salary at a good rate. However, most jobs, when you leave, you
It's
can
more.
keep it, but then you're going to pay a whole lot more money for it.
Right. And that's why I need the private.
Yeah. I'm sorry. And the other thing too, get life insurance while you're healthy. Because once you start having chronic illnesses, then you're going to be paying a higher premium, because the expectation is that you're going to be hospitalized, that you're going to need a lot of medications, and things like that. So they're going to charge you at a higher premium as well.
Good advice.
Yes. So transitioning, kind of going to put both of the last 2 topics together. Self-love and prayer. So we talk a lot about, in this age, Black women just, practicing self-love and being authentically themselves and allowing ourselves to allowing you to give yourself, luxury and rest and all of these things. Tell us when did you realize self-love was important? Was it at a young age, or did you learn it over time? And then one thing that you would share with your daughters about the importance of self-love.
Don't all speak at once.
Think about it.
I think I sort of learned self-love at an early age, because first you need to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you can't love others. And it's very important that you take care of self first before you think about taking care of others. So my suggestion to Christy would be to, yes, you're married now and y'all are happy, but put yourself first. Okay. And by putting yourself first, your marriage will blossom even more. Okay. But most of all, you need to put God at the top. And once you put God at top, everything else will fall in place. If you're faithful and true, do what you're supposed to do. And I pray. I think you mentioned about prayer also. I always pray. Prayer should be the first thing you do in the mornings when you get up, and the last thing you do at night. So yes, self-love is very important. I love Pansy. Okay.
Yes.
And that's why and I'm 72 years old. Okay.
Good.
Walking
72 years old. That's why it's so important to me now that my health means a lot to me. So in order to stay healthy, that I must do boot camp. I have to walk. Try to eat right. I'm saying try, drink, as much water as I can per day. Sometimes I don't drink, the ounces that's required, but I try, okay? And I'm trying to get Christy to be a little more active physically. So when I see her on Thursday, we're gonna start on Friday doing a little more. She had this she wanted this treadmill. Okay, she got it. It's just collecting dust. I told her she has to use it. I'm
gonna do better.
You're gonna do better.
Well, you're gonna do better on Friday, because Friday's the first day.
I know.
We're gonna
I
be
know
ready.
it's always,
Mother is ready.
right. It's always I'm tired. I'll start tomorrow. Well, no, you need to say, okay, I'm doing this today. I'm doing it for Christy.
Yes.
I'm doing it for Christy. I need to start now. Okay.
Yes. You know what helped me with that is I had to reframe my thought of working out, because I do not like working out. I don't think I'll ever be the person that's like, yeah, I love going to the gym. I just got a good workout. Like, that's not me. But I had to reframe it into, number one, I love my body. I'm grateful to my body for carrying me this far. I'm going to be better to my body, and I show love to my body by exercising. So that way, every day, as you said, prioritizing yourself, that has to be a priority that I make to myself, that I have to show love to my body because I'm grateful to it. I'm honoring it. And I work out. And what helps me also is I paid for like a subscription. And so I'm there Monday through Friday faithfully for a month. This will be going into my second month. Yeah, I'm there faithfully because one thing about me, and y'all all know this, I do not like to waste money. I don't gamble. I do not waste a dollar, a dime at all. So, but yeah, reframing it, that has helped me. So it's interesting that you put that together with self-love, because that's exactly where I had to take it.
I want to ask my mom, and also for Miss Tony and Miss Jeanette, if you can answer this when you respond to your questions. But how did you prioritize yourself once you transitioned into becoming a mother and becoming a wife? How did you make sure that you prioritized yourself?
So self-love for me is, and I hope Pansy doesn't mind me calling her Pansy.
Oh, no, that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
But one of the things you said too, if you don't love yourself, nobody else will. You have to mentally know that you love yourself. And you have to know you love yourself through all situations. Growing up, I was tall, and so sometimes I had a low self-esteem with that because I was always the tallest one. And so I always felt a little bad with that. But, my mother always told me, people come in all shapes and sizes, and so you have to love yourself, whether you're light, dark, green or purple, tall, short, thin, fat, whatever the case may be, you have to love yourself and you have to know it within yourself so that others around you will love you. In terms of, being a mother and, being a wife and those types of things, you can't lose yourself either. When Rashana was growing up, we always took a trip as a family. And then I took a trip for myself too. So we always made sure, because one of the things my mother used to always tell us is that kids grow up. And if you build your life around your child, you're going to be lonely because your child's not going to be with you all the time. And a child needs to have their own life, just like we had our life. And so many people, build their lives around their children. And so I always tried to make sure that I juggled, because if I didn't feel good inside myself, then how could I be a good mother to Rashana? I didn't want to just always be on a trip with Rashana. I wanted to have a trip as an adult as well. You know what I mean? So I think, you have to balance, because no one thing is 100%. So you have to be able to balance your life. However, the most important person, like Pansy said, is you. Because if you're not right, nothing else is right. You can't be a good wife if you're not right. You can't be a good mother. You can't be a good friend. You have to be good to yourself. And that's difficult, Pansy, because for me, I need to exercise. And I know that. I'm a good motivator for everyone but myself. Okay, I can tell everybody else what to do but me. So, but you're absolutely right, and that's hopefully something in my retirement, which I'm not telling you guys to wait to retirement. Get your life in order now. Get it in order now so that you can hopefully live a full life of retirement in good health.
Let's see, it's my turn. So let's see. I always had a little bit of a conflict, self-confidence, because I guess I was always top heavy and everybody, always, I can always remember everybody staring at me. And then after I realized why, when I was about 9, that I needed a bra at the age of 9 years old. I couldn't understand why, but my mother talked me through that. And as time went on, you know, you gain your self-confidence back because, you know, you realize even though you're built like that, you know, you have other things that people look at and you go on. So that's when I learned how to really like myself. But it took me a long time even to get over that, because people, you have to realize, do people like you for your body or for what you have? You know, even some girls, I remember in college, people would say, oh, if you go out there first, everybody will talk to you first and then we can come in. And it's kind of funny, people do that. So then as far as being a mother, I kind of had to be a mother twice, because I had Marcus. And I had Marcus at the age of 25 and I was working and stuff. And then Marcus was 11 and here I had Courtney. I was kind of like.
And wait, guys, just FYI, my mother found out she was pregnant when she fell off a bike and had to go to the hospital. They was like, oh,
yes.
okay,
Wow.
Yes. So I was still having a regular monthly cycle because I always had heavy periods. I had fibroid tumors and everything else. So I had a lot of issues. So when I fell off the bike, I went to the hospital and the doctor said, by the way, you're pregnant. And I was like, pregnant? You got to be kidding. He said, no, you're 4 months pregnant. I was like, so then I became a mother again. So that was, and so you can't really lose yourself. You got to take joy in what God gave you. That's what I look at. You take joy, because I took joy in raising Marcus. He was a boy. We did a whole bunch of stuff with him. And then Courtney was a whole different thing, because my parents were older. My parents were always involved with my kids, and I have to thank God for them. And they took her in, you know, they babysat for her every day. They took her places. And, you know, even though I was, you know, her mother, they were like parents to her too, because, you know, they considered her their last grandchild, because they were in their 80s. And so, you know, you can't get lost in your kids, but I think you have to remember your kids are always a blessing to your whole family. And you have to, you know, keep moving, you know, keep that in mind no matter what you do, and then take care of yourself as you go along.
Okay, but digging a little deeper, mother.
All right. Well, I don't know. We've had so many questions. I kind of
no. When we're talking about self-love, like what does that mean to you? How did you start learning to love yourself? Because you talked about, you know, not feeling comfortable in your body. When did you start?
I really started loving myself when I got to college, because I really learned I had a lot to offer. I did really well in college, and I had a counselor. Actually, I had a Jewish professor that really taught me that. I took a class on self-love. It was a law class, and it was a class on how to teach other people how to be themselves. And in that class, I learned how to be myself, and that no matter what you do, you learn how to love yourself. And that way you can get through anything you strive to. And that way we started working with people who had issues in the community. And you couldn't deal with those people unless you dealt with yourself first. And that's really how I learned how to really love myself for who I was, no matter what.
Now, okay, one last question, then I'm gonna let you off the hook.
All right.
Did your idea of self-love change after you got divorced?
Yeah, but changed a little bit, because now I could love myself no matter what I did. I think because as a mother, you have a little, you know, you're a little bit more closed in, but I think I had been through so much. I had been through a divorce. I had been through some domestic violence. I had been through financial difficulty. I had been through homelessness. So not homelessness, but I lived with Sheila. She gave me a place to stay. You were in college. So I had been through so much that I knew that no matter what, I could love myself and survive. Come out on top. And now today I own my own home. I'm financially stable. I'm thinking about going into real estate, starting my own business. Yes. So I have a lot of things in it. So I know I can love it.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
All right.
And the last thing, I have a question based on, because I think, Jeanette, this is the last question. You talked about starting your own business. So what tips do you have for women who are going into retirement age, you know, about how to, or, you know, they're about to become empty nesters, about continuing to live your life you know, like what tips do you have to get that jump start?
See, most of us are not empty nesters. Like I'm going to work. I still work at neighborhood. I'm going to collect my retirement while I work and bank it, because I had a lady who taught me, she said, you know, most people don't look at retirement like this. You can work, you can collect your Social Security, you can bank it, and then make your plan. So that's what I want to do. And I still work at the shelter. So I'm still placing homeless women. And so I have to find something to take all those spots. And so what I've done is I went to a church group and I was talking to a lady, she's a real estate agent. And that's what I really want to do. I still want to find housing for homeless people. But if I can help women buy houses, that is my next goal in life. That's my next goal, my empty nest.
She's not an empty nester because there's like 8 people who live in that house.
No. Well, my empty home, once I retire I figured next year, within a year and a half, I retire, I want to really go into real estate and help women buy houses. Because when I bought this house, the 2 ladies that helped me buy this house said, Jeanette, we are going to make sure you get a house. And they had that same frame of mind. And that's the frame of mind I want to be in, to help women own their own property.
Love that.
Mom, what would you say? Because you retired my senior year of high school when I was about to leave the nest. So would you?
Yes, that's the perfect. That was perfect timing.
I know. Well, I had my husband, he retired when Christy was,
I think 2
years old. So we've been planning for retirement, you know, he more so than me. Okay. So that's why I was able to retire when Christy's first year college is basically, even though we did the student loans, we was still able to retire, both of us. And haven't really missed a beat. We go on vacations, not so much my husband, he don't like to travel that much, but we still do everything we want to do comfortably, and it's a blessing. We owe it all to God that you know, we were able to retire and did not have to take on a second, you know, and a job to supplement our income.
What else did you do in all these years that you've been retired? What other activities did you do?
I did Girl Scouts. I was a Girl Scout leader, probably about 12 years.
I work for them.
Yeah. Heavily involved in the Ushers organization locally, nationally, and on the Eastern region level. That consumes most of my time, just about, along with my church activities and so forth. And I just like helping people in general. You know, this friend of mine, she passed away almost 3 weeks ago, and her funeral is on Friday. She has been like a mother to me since my mom passed away in 2013. And it's going to really be a void, because I would pick her up and, you know, take her to various ICUA activities and events. But I just like helping people. I'm just a helper. So every opportunity that I get to help others, I'm there. I'm all in.
That's where Christy gets it from.
That's where Christy gets it from.
Yes.
Well, something rubbed off on her. I don't know about the finance part, but something rubbed off on her.
Christy is a helper. Yeah, she is helper extraordinaire. Like that is, yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah. One thing I can say about Christy, she is definitely a loving, giving person.
Yes.
Every time we talk, she's doing something for someone else. And I applaud her for that, that she's not selfish, in the sense that, you know, when most people talk about an only child, that they think that they're selfish and this, that, and that, but Christy is just the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one thing I've definitely picked up from you and Dad is that you were always helping others or, assisting in any way that you could with whatever someone needed. So I definitely picked that up from you all, thankfully.
But continue to do it. God will bless you.
I will.
Let him bless you.
All right. I think those were all our topics.
Oh, yeah. So it's on me. So we just do a really quick round robin on 1000, which we already described what on 1000 means. It just means living your life to the fullest. And we'd like you all, each of you, to tell us your biggest 1000 moment.
Should we go first so that they have like
Okay,
an
go
idea?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not going first though, but so when y'all go first.
Go ahead, Christy.
My biggest 1000 moment. I'm gonna say I've had a lot of 1000 moments, but I would say my biggest moment, I would say it was the first time I went overseas to work in Tanzania. And I think I say that that's my biggest 1000 moment because I think that that was like a huge like leap of faith for me to just pick up and go overseas for 2 months and live in a place that I barely knew anything about, didn't know anyone there, but I had a great time. I got to meet some new people. I ended up going back another time and met some people there, and I feel like it's like a second home to me. I would go back, but I would say that that's my biggest 1000 moment, in that like I just seized the opportunity when it was available, and I just took a leap of faith and I did it.
I would say my biggest 1000 moment now is taking this solo trip. Just like doing it, and I booked the trip when I was on the phone with Rashad. She was like, just do it. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And I think that is my biggest 1000 moment, because I just allowed myself to live and enjoy life and allow all of the positive energy, possibilities, and people to just inspire me. So I feel like that is my biggest 1000 moment.
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, like Christy, there's a lot of things that I can name, but the first thing that came to mind at this time was probably making it through unemployment. So in 2016, I was laid off from my job. And, that's something that you don't really hear many young people talking about. And that was just the hustle that I got to just trying to figure it out, taking part-time jobs, driving Uber, saving money. I mean, that grind really let me know, number one, I don't ever want to be in this situation again, which is why I have a couple businesses. And two, it just let me know that there's nothing that can stop me. You know what I mean? Like I can build myself up from literally, having nothing. And as Ms. Cooper said, the importance of saving, I did not do that. I was not doing that. So I literally was, like paycheck to paycheck. And so it was that moment that really made me say, okay, I need to take charge of my finances, and just really be planful. But I would say that was definitely a 1000 moment for me to just know that I can do this on my own.
All right, ladies,
I'm gonna say the 1000 moment was when you got back in the United States. And I gotta say, Rashawn, I don't mean to, I gotta say one thing. It's funny because when you talk about being on unemployment, I work with the girls at the shelter and they're dying to be on unemployment. So when you hear the other end of the scope, it's like, I got unemployment, I can't wait, I can collect for 8 weeks.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't qualify because my job gave me a severance. So,
Mhm.
but it was only for like one check. So
Yeah.
I did not even qualify for unemployment.
But you had
And
to refile, and some people just can't wait
yeah,
to do that. You'd be surprised.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Your
And to hear you
1,000
say that, I'm happy to hear you say that. Yeah,
Your
it's so
1,000
nice
moment,
to hear you say that. That's my
mom, has to be
1,000 moment.
about you. It can't be about me.
I know.
Yeah.
My 1,000 moment was when I won my car in life.
Yes.
That was because I didn't have a car, and I had the choice of 3 cars. I had the choice of the gold one, I mean the silver one I had, a red one with scoop on the back, or a white one. And the other ones were just a little bit too sporty for me, so I took the silver one that I have. So that was my 1,000 moment.
I guess for me, my 1,000 moment was the day Christy was born.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, I was 36 at the time, so it was a
I thought you were
blessing.
38.
Huh?
38. 37 or 38.
36.
Your mother knows when she had you.
We look at you like, I know.
We're going to have to check these years.
Huh?
We're going to have to check these years.
So for my husband and I, that was a blessing in itself because he's 10 years older than I am.
Mhm.
So for us to even think about, having a child and being able to raise this child was just a God sent to us that God gave us Christy and that we were able to live our life as a model for her. And so we're just blessed. And since Mother's Day is on Sunday, I just want to take the opportunity to say, Christy, we love you and God bless.
Oh, thanks. I love you too. Happy Mother's Day.
Yay.
So I guess since I'm last and since
Dancing
Pansy, I was gonna say the same thing because I was torn between 2.
Mhm.
But
They both.
I will say that what I was going to say was that prior to Rashana, I had a lot of miscarriages.
Mm.
And my daughter before Rashana was born 1 pound, 8 ounces. And she was born blind and with cerebral palsy. And she passed away at 8 years old. And she was born in 85, and Rashana was born in 89.
Right.
And I was so happy to have a healthy baby girl.
Yes, yes.
And that was like my 1,000,000th, time in my life because she was healthy. She was a preemie, but she was a healthy preemie. And like you said, I just didn't think it was possible. And I am so proud, like you said, of Rashana, for just being the best daughter a mother could have. She just makes my heart glad. And so that was my 1,000,000th moment. And my 100th moment is
1,000.
1,000. Sorry. My whatever it is. What was it now?
Oh my gosh.
The
Is
1,000th moment.
my 1,000th moment now is retirement. Because after 46 years of working, I prayed to God.
At the same job.
Wow.
Since 1974. I prayed to God to please let me be able to retire. My body is tired. My knees hurt. I have bone spurs on the ankles, and I get up every morning at 3:45, leave my house at 4:30. I manage about 180 people, and I'm telling you, it's not easy. And I just thank my good Jesus that I am able to be able to say I am retiring. So I thank God for that. Thank God. Thank God.
Amen.
Yeah,
for
God
that.
bless.
Yes,
Yes.
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 You three also have something else in common. You were all
I
born
was
to.
say, don't try to
30.
make your 1,000 moment about me because you missed it.
I'm not. No, I did not. I said your 1,000 moment was when you got back in the United States.
States, right.
I was glad of that. That was a tough week. That was really a
Yeah.
tough.
And
You
I'm
went
sure
out
it
and did
was.
that by yourself. It really was. It was worried about you going on your own, talking about, don't worry, Ma, I'll be fine.
But you was gonna say we all have something in common. Go ahead, mother.
Yes, you are. You were all born from women who were in their late 30s.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And we all thought that we weren't going to have any more kids. And we have all 3 of you now.
Amen.
Yeah, what a
Amen.
Amen.
blessing.
So God bless us all with
Sure
each
did.
one of you in a different way. He sure
Sure
did.
Sure did.
Wow.
And I would be so happy to have either one of you as a daughter, because it's so good
Yes.
to know
Yeah,
that
definitely.
all of
Yes.
you
Yes.
have come together as best friends, good friends. And it's just
Yes.
what mothers want, is for children to grow up and have good relationships. And all of you
Yes.
have done that. And I am so happy to just know each one of you ladies, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. And I pray that God will continue to bless you all for the rest of your lives.
Yes.
I just want to say real quickly to
Thank you, Reverend Mother.
Ma Tony,
I'm
formerly.
not a reverend, but that's what God
Yes.
put in my heart.
Yes.
I just wanted to say real quickly to Ma Tony, formerly Ma Kimball, because
Yeah.
that's what I used to call her.
Formerly known as.
Formerly known as. But no, Miss Tony has always been like very inspirational, very motivational. I've had talks with just you, and you've been just such a blessing to me. Even like when I was getting married, the things that you poured into me and just the well wishes and blessings, that really meant a lot. And so, you know, I call you like I have a adopted mother in Rashawn.
Thank you.
So I thank you for pouring into all of us. And I don't think I've met Miss Jeanette in person yet, but I'm
No.
meeting you. Hopefully, I gotta come to Rhode Island so we can have a 1,000
Yes, we do.
random night.
Okay.
Exactly. We were talking about doing like a mother's trip.
Yeah, like a trip.
mother-daughter trip.
That'd be nice.
That would be
Yes.
really
That'd be
nice.
nice.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
since I
would
know
be.
all the moms on here, because I'm just so blessed. Yes. Miss Jeanette is like my buddy. She is my partner in crime. You know, together we keep Courtney together. And that Courtney could not ask for a better duo than the two of us.
That's true.
Yes. Yes. So I always appreciate that. I could always know, I know your mom's always going to make such a good comment. I'm going to laugh, and she's going to be encouraging. You know, she's going to be like, I don't know about you, you know, with that, and just allows us to be us while also judging us at the same time. So, and Ms. Cooper, I always just appreciate just everything that you were there for me when I lived up the street. I didn't even know, like when I moved here, I guess like my mom saying, well, she's moved to Greensboro, she kind of knows some people, but like when I moved to DC, the only person I knew here was Christy. And I just appreciate that. I don't even know if you remember me younger from the Ushers then, but like, I just appreciate you always allow me to park my car at your house for all the travel. So I never had to worry about, because where I was staying, I could not leave my car there. But, you know, just thank you for doing that. And thank you for allowing me to come to your house to eat.
Anytime.
Yes. And really just making me feel like family. And this is like, even when Christy wasn't even there, like I could call Christy's mom right now, you know, even for Thanksgiving, she knew I really wanted a Thanksgiving pie because she makes really good sweet potato pie, and she made it just for me. And so that is just so thoughtful. And it's also a blessing when you move and when you make friends to have like surrogate moms and things like that, who are able to just fill in the gap when you're not with your mom. And then to my mom, of course, you know that I love you. I'm not even gonna cry. But yes, but thank you for always pouring into me and being my mom. And that's it.
Yes, yes.
Thank
I have to
you.
come get one of these pies because I've been hearing about these pies. I haven't had one
Seafood
yet.
pasta.
And the seafood pasta.
And the seafood,
Yes.
okay.
But everything I've heard has been amazing, and I cannot wait to spend time with you because we haven't got to
Just
spend time.
let me know.
Right.
Let me know when you're in town, okay?
Yes, I
She'll
will.
be
I
ready.
will.
She'll be ready to take you walking now.
I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that. And you know, Mama Tony, she's a part of, she must be a part of the trio because she be checking me too. I don't know. Like, she just be calling me and being like, so get your life together. But I love that.
Remember when you told her you would go to Puerto Rico?
He was like, now what? Now wait a minute.
Why would you?
But yeah, she has always been there, and she's definitely like a second mom to me. So I love you for that, and I want to thank both of you ladies for bringing Christy and Roshana into my life because they have just been a guiding light. They have been a support system. They are like the sisters I've never had. So I appreciate you both for raising amazing daughters to check my life and get me together, but also support and be there for me throughout life. So I love you both for that.
Thank you.
That's so sweet.
Yeah,
Telling you.
it is.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I am so happy that you all are friends, even
Yes,
though y'all
I
are
know.
in different cities. You know, God put you all together for a reason.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
Right. That's right.
Yes, as I say, this is my Coco Chanel, my CC, my Coco Chanel. Well, since Reverend Mother already gave the benediction, we will be back in 2 weeks with a new
Okay.
episode of the 1000 Club podcast on May 20th. We drop every other Thursday, but don't worry if you missed the drop on Thursday because you can always listen to us on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor. You can watch us on YouTube. That's the 1000 Club. And you can also now watch us on Facebook. So like, subscribe, follow all the different pages, keep up with us and what we're doing in terms of our lives, how we're living on 1000 through our IG, which is at the 1000 Club Life on Instagram. I think that's all we have. And be sure to show us some love. Let us know if you have any topics that you want us to talk about. Drop some comments. Tell your mom you love her in the comments, whether she's here on earth or whether she is, you know, now in heaven or whatever. Just show all the moms and the mother figures in your life some love in the comments. We'll be doing the same on our social media, although none of them are on social. Oh no, Miss Gims is on Facebook, so she'll be able to watch it. Oh, and so is Jeanette.
Yes.
I don't know who gave the Facebook.
So follow them too.
Facebook.
Yes, follow them too. And last but not least, just to remind you all, follow Come Along with C and listen to her new travel series. She had a really great one with Antoinette about her trip in Tampa, and soon she'll be coming out with one with Courtney about her solo trip to Puerto Rico. Courtney just released, I think it was last week, her Women in Social Justice series on her podcast. Actually started listening to it today. So yes, support these two ladies, listen to what they're doing at Stepping Into She. Oh Jesus, now I'm putting y'all names together. At Stepping Into She and Come Along with C. That's C.
Right.
Yes.
And we'll see you all another time in the club. Peace.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
I love everybody.
Thank you.